Today's Wrestle Talk with Big Rob. I'm going to give you my top three SummerSlam matches of all time. So this year, SummerSlam is the first time ever it's going to be a two-night event taking place at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Should be a great event. I plan on attending myself since I am from New Jersey and MetLife's in New Jersey, not New York. So coming in at number three, which I think is the third greatest SummerSlam match in the history of the event, is Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk at the 2013 edition of SummerSlam. So this feud kicked off because Paul Heyman at the time was with CM Punk. He was managing him. They were best friends. Some things never change, apparently, because, fast forward all this time later, we're still having issues between Punk and Heyman. So what happened was that Paul Heyman turned his back on CM Punk and aligned himself with Brock Lesnar. So what happened? They had a match at SummerSlam. So post UFC, Brock Lesnar was involved in the main event scene for 10 plus years. He had a lot of great moments, but I think this is actually his best actual wrestling match in the whole run. Obviously, at that point in time, CM Punk was in the prime of his career. I think at that point he wasn't checked out of the WWE. Fantastic match. For any newer fans out there who started watching in the last couple of years, I suggest to go back and watch the whole 2013 SummerSlam event. We had CM Punk and Brock Lesnar. We had Daniel Bryan winning the World Heavyweight Championship, only to be screwed by Triple H and have a cash in from Randy Orton, which I think is going to happen again this year. But the third greatest match in SummerSlam history, CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar. Great match. Go back, watch it. 2013 SummerSlam. Coming in at number two, and this may be a lot of people's number one, especially for older fans like myself, as a fan of this business for 35 years, is SummerSlam 1992. The British Bulldog versus Bret the Hitman Hart. So the great thing about this match is that the main event was for the Intercontinental Championship. Very rarely do we see that. But what made it even a bigger event was that it took place in London, England at Wembley Stadium. So obviously the British Bulldog being from there had great support. They were both baby faces, Bret Hart and the British Bulldog. And if you listen to Bret Hart talk, this is probably his favorite match in his career because he explains how it kind of shot him into the main event scene while he was able to do the favors and honors for his real life brother-in-law, the British Bulldog. So they put on a wrestling clinic. I read somewhere that apparently, that day or the night before that, Davey Boy Smith, apparently, don't quote me, I don't know if this is real, but I remember hearing that he was on a crack binge, apparently. But overall, SummerSlam 1992, Wembley Stadium in London, Bret the Hitman Hart versus the British Bulldog. Bret Hart did the honors. British Bulldog won with a roll-up. Great match. Go back and watch it. Any newer fan, you want to see great in-ring action, go back and watch that match. That stadium was electric during that. To me, the greatest match in SummerSlam history took place at SummerSlam 2002. The returning Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, taking on the Game, Triple H, in an unsanctioned match. So at this point, there was a lot of excitement because Shawn Michaels, HBK, had been inactive for 4 years, whether, it was, the drug addiction or the bad back that he had with the surgery. But the great thing about it is that Shawn Michaels went into that match. People had their doubts of how he was going to perform, and he was even better than when he left. To me, Shawn Michaels, the greatest in-ring talent, greatest professional wrestler of all time. But there's two sides in every match. Triple H was a phenomenal heel in that story. Shawn Michaels wanted to come back. They had the DX reunion, and during that DX reunion, Triple H turned on Shawn Michaels. Ended up beating him down in the back. Shawn Michaels' face all messed up. But classic matchup. The whole 2002 SummerSlam event was phenomenal. You had Brock Lesnar, The Rock. I think the opening of that event was Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio. When that's your opening match, you're going to have a pretty good event. But the showstopper himself, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, returned that night, had an unbelievable performance in that match. And there was a lot of real life, people were able to suspend their disbelief because in that match, Triple H worked his back, and people didn't really know if his back was healthy or enough. You know, JR, I believe, was phenomenal on that call. So go back, watch SummerSlam 2002. To me, the greatest match in SummerSlam history. Shawn Michaels versus the Game Triple H in the unsanctioned match. I'm interested to know what everyone else's thoughts are. Leave your top 3 SummerSlam matches in the comments. Big Rob out.